All right, lesson 9.5 is about rectangular prisms. Again, we're going to talk about applications with rectangular prisms. So we're going to be looking at different volume and surface area applications here. So just as a reminder, volume for a rectangular prism is length times width times height. And our surface area formula is 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times the height then, which covers all the 6 surfaces of the rectangular prism. In example number 1, the diagram shows the dimensions of an office. It costs about 11 cents per year to air condition 1 cubic foot of space. So that cubic foot is actually a little hint to us, and we're air conditioning, which means that we're filling the room with the cold air. So the cubic foot filling the room is telling us that we are definitely talking about volume here. So on average, how much does it cost to air condition the office for 1 month? So we are given the cost per year, so we'll have to take into account that we're trying to figure out a month. What we want to start off doing, though, is figuring out the volume of the office. So length times width times height is going to be our formula. 32 is our length, 25 is our width, and 12 feet is going to be the height of the room here. So if we do 32 times 25 times 12, we're going to do 9,600 cubic feet here of space that we're actually trying to air condition. So it's 11 cents per year for 1 cubic foot. So we have 9,600. So we're going to take this and we're going to multiply it by 11 cents first. And that's going to give us a cost of $1,056 per year. Since the question only asks us for a month, we have to realize there are 12 months in a year. So we're going to take our money and we're going to divide by 12. And dividing by 12 is going to give us 88. So this would be $88 per month to air condition this then. So that's our final answer there. For the next example, which lunchbox holds more food? So again, we're trying to figure out volume or surface area. Holding food means we're filling them up, so we're going to be finding volume. So I'm going to do A and B separately. So volume is length times width times height. Length times width times height. So I'm going to call this my length, my width, and my height. And here my length, my width, and my height. So for lunchbox A, if I plug in my numbers, my length is 7.5, my width is 3.75, and my height is 10. I'm going to do lunchbox B. I'll go ahead and set it up, and then I can just calculate all at the end. My length is going to be 8, my width is 3.75, and my height then is 9.5. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply these. So 7.5 times 3.75 times 10, which will give me 281.25. My units are inches, so I'm going to say inches cubed because we are talking about volume. For the other one, I'm going to do 8 times 3.75 times 9.5, and that's going to give me 285 cubic inches. So which one holds more food? The one that holds more food would be the one that has the bigger volume. So that would be lunchbox B because 285 is bigger than 281.25. So our final answer here would be lunchbox B holds more food. In example number 3, Mrs. Jacoby purchased rectangular foam blocks and is going to decorate them with Gerber daisies that cover 4 square inches each. If Mrs. Jacoby's foam blocks are 4 inches by 3 inches by 4 inches, so this is our length by our width by our height, how many Gerber daisy flowers must she buy to cover 1 foam block? So if we're covering here, cover would be a signal that we are going to do surface area. So we are looking at our surface area formula, which is 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. So for our surface area, we're going to do 2 times 4 times 3 plus 2 times 4 times 4 plus 2 times the width is 3 times the height is 4. And again, I'm going to chunk these into the 3 different spots here. So 2 times 4 times 3 is going to give me 24. 2 times 4 times 4 is going to give me 32. And 2 times 3 times 4 will give me 24. So if I have 24 plus 32 plus 24, I'm going to get 80. And my units are inches. Since I'm surface area, that's squared because we're talking about area here. So we have 80 square inches. Each Gerber daisy covers 4 square inches. So I'm going to divide by 4 square inches. And 80 divided by 4 is going to tell me that I need 20 Gerber daisy flowers. The last one over here, example number 4. Mrs. Grabner has plans to repaint her living room this summer. The room is rectangular with dimensions of 18 feet by 12 feet. She will only be painting the walls, not the floor or the ceiling. What square footage will she be painting? So for this one, there is a little bit of information that is going to be missing here. So we do kind of need to take this into account. Because I'm painting the walls, I didn't tell you how tall the walls actually are, which is going to be slightly problematic for us here. So what we are going to do is we need to know that the walls are 8 feet high. And in future versions of the notes, this will be updated, but there we go. So I'm going to actually kind of like draw this out because the problem is since we're only doing the walls, we have to kind of take out some of our sides here. So my room is 18 feet by 12 feet and by 8 feet tall. So when I do this, I actually need to take out the top and the bottom because I'm not painting the ceiling or the floor here. So when I look at this bottom section, this blue area on the top and bottom, this is going to be removed. Now, if you remember, this is my length, this is my width, and this is my height. So I'm actually taking out the length times the width here. So in my formula, I have 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. And painting is surface area because we're covering it. Since this is the length times the width for the bottom for the floor, it's also the length times width for the ceiling up here because they're opposite each other. So since I'm not painting that, I'm going to take out this 2LW so that I remove the floor and the ceiling. So because of that, I only have 2 sections here. So I'm going to be doing 2 times 18 times 8 plus 2 times 12 times 8. So I'm still going to chunk those into the 2 pieces. This first part gives me 288, and the second part gives me 192. So if I add those all together, I get 480, and I'm going to call that square feet then. And that is it for your examples of rectangular prism, volume, and surface area. Always check to make sure which one are we actually figuring out, volume or surface area.